Hello to all of you viewers of The Pioneer. We continue to bring you critical events in the shadow of war. Today we're looking at a stunning development that has reverberated in Russia and put it at the center of international politics. One of Vladimir Putin's closest allies has been killed in a suspicious attack. The incident has had a huge impact not only in Russia but also around the world, leaving many questions. Who is behind this attack? How will the Kremlin respond to this incident? Could this development affect the course of the Russia-Ukraine war? While hot clashes continue in the Russia-Ukraine war, there is a close and also serious struggle between the front lines and behind it. Recently, many figures close to the Kremlin have been targeted, and this is causing us to question the political balance within Russia. The person who was killed was one of the critical figures that Putin trusted and supported his policies for many years. However, it's becoming increasingly likely that this attack was not a simple assassination attempt, but part of a larger plan. Official sources say it was a suicide bomb attack. However, experts on the ground question the facts behind this explosion. Given the way it happened, the timing of the incident and the targeted person, various scenarios emerge as to who might be behind this attack. While some experts argue that internal conflicts within the Kremlin are deepening and that such attacks trigger new tensions within Moscow, others argue that this could be an operation of Western-backed groups. The Putin administration has responded harshly to several assassination attempts on Kremlin figures. This latest incident, however, may have a greater impact than those of the past. This is because the targeted person was not only a political figure, but also an influential power in the Kremlin's internal structure. This attack could therefore have serious consequences for Russia's internal security and political stability. How could this development also change the internal balance within Putin's administration? Could it cause some factions within the Kremlin to gain or lose power? Will it change the decision-making mechanism for Russia's military operations in Ukraine? And how will this assassination affect international actors? Will the West interpret this attack as a sign of weakness within the Kremlin? Let's take a look at the developments together. But before we get into our report, a quick reminder. The Pioneer team is completely real. None of my teammates or me are artificial intelligence. Even though AI is very advanced, it's still not as good as us. By the way, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss our daily reports and explanations. We do read all the comments you leave on our videos, so please continue to share your ideas about our content. Tell us in the comments what content you'd like to see on the Pioneer channel. And now let us begin if you're ready. The Pioneer reports. The capital of Russia, Moscow, has been the scene of one of the most shocking attacks in recent years. A massive explosion at one of the city's most prestigious residential complexes, Scarlet Sails, has caused widespread outrage in Russian political and security circles. This attack showed once again that Russia's war against Ukraine is not limited to the front lines and that even the capital, Moscow, can be directly targeted. Arman Sargsyan, the founder of the Arbat Battalion, a paramilitary organization known to be close to the Kremlin and directly supporting Russia's military operations in Ukraine, was killed in the blast. According to Russian state media, Sargsyan was entering the luxury residential complex with his security team at the time of the explosion. However, a huge explosion occurred at the entrance to the building and, according to initial reports, 4 people were injured on the spot, while Sargsyan was seriously wounded. Later, in an official statement, it was announced that Sargsyan, whose leg was reportedly amputated, could not be saved. In the aftermath of this incident, there was various speculations about how the attack was carried out. Initial reports suggested that the explosives may have been pre-planted at the entrance of the building, while later assessments indicated that it could have been a suicide attack. According to information leaked by Russia's security services, security camera footage obtained at the scene showed a person approaching Sargsyan and an anti-personnel mine detonated near him. Russian authorities have suggested that the person who carried out the explosion was directly involved in the attack and detonated the explosive with him. The assassination, which took place in one of Moscow's most luxurious neighborhoods, is considered a major security weakness, while Sargsyan's assassination has once again brought the internal security vulnerabilities in Russia to the agenda. It's a matter of curiosity as to who is behind the attack. Russian authorities have so far stated that no group has claimed responsibility for the attack, but there are various claims about whether the incident is linked to Ukraine. Although the Kremlin seems to have refrained from directly blaming Ukraine, it is understood that Moscow is working on various scenarios behind the scenes. Armen Sargsyan founded the Arbat Battalion and became the head of this paramilitary group after Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022. The Arbat Battalion was particularly active in the Kursk region bordering Ukraine, described by the Ukrainian special services as a group of criminals and mercenaries. The battalion was accused of carrying out some of the dirtiest and most controversial operations of the war. The targeting of Sargsyan therefore shows that the Russia-Ukraine war is gradually spreading to major centers such as Moscow, and that the war is now moving beyond the traditional fronts. Although there have been several territories attacked and assassination attempts in Moscow in recent years, this incident represents a direct security crisis for the Kremlin. In particular, the assassination of a known Putin loyalist and active supporter of Russia's war policies in the capital shows that Russian security services have a serious vulnerability. This assassination could be a critical turning point not only for the security of Moscow, but for Russia as a whole. Since the beginning of the war, the Kremlin has been running a propaganda campaign emphasizing Moscow's security and inviolability. This attack, however, presented a reality that refutes this claim. The targeting of such an important figure in the heart of Russia may force the Putin administration to reconsider its security policies. On the other hand, this attack may also have repercussions within the Putin administration. It's known that the debate on the course of the war has increased in Russia, with some arguing that the war in Ukraine has increased security risks at home. Sargsyan's assassination suggests that the war is increasingly spilling over into Russian hinterland and that the security risks facing the Kremlin are growing. So, what does this attack in the heart of Moscow mean? How can Sargsyan's death change the course of the Russia-Ukraine war? What impact will the security vulnerabilities in Moscow have on the Russian politics? And most importantly, how will the Kremlin respond to this attack? Let us know in the comments. We read and care about your points of view.